Okay, guys, we're going to get our name on here first thing. Make sure you have your cohort, so if it falls out of your journal, we can get it back to you. First thing we need to do is read the question. Graph each equation to see which one matches the graph given. Now that's fine, we can do that, but we can make it easier for ourselves too. If we look at the graph, we'll see the y-intercept is at 4. And if you remember, the y-intercept is always the number at the end. So we're looking for a positive 4 at the end. That means it has to either be G or J. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in. I'm going to go to, we must write down, if I'm writing it down, you must write it down. You're going to go to graph, and then we're going to use 3, 1. We're using 3, 1 because it's in function notation. I'm going to start with this one and go to that one. So I'm going to go to my graph. I'm going to clear everything. I'm going to put in this equation. Menu 3, 1, negative x squared plus 3x plus 4. Can't really see that. It's a little better. And then I just press enter and it graphs it. You'll notice it's shifted. This graph, see how there's the skinny side and the fat side, has the correct y-intercept, but it's not in quite the right spot. Let's try the other one. Let's try this one. So menu 3, 1. Again, I'm going to put in the equation, negative x squared minus 3x plus 4. Press enter. Much better. And if I want to be really sure, I can use menu 5, 1. And I'm going to, if I use 5, 1, I'm looking at the zeros. The zeros should be at 1 or really close to 1 and negative 4. This graph isn't super precise on this, so I don't know it's at exactly 1 or at exactly negative 4, but it should be very close. So I'm going to go menu 5, 1. Now notice that this is in blue. That means I'm on the blue graph. I'm going to press the down arrow and I'm going to switch to the red graph. Now my answer's in red. I'm going to slide to the right. Hey look, it's at 1 exactly. I bet if I type in negative 4, hey look, it's at negative 4 exactly. That means this is my choice. Next one. This one's very simple. You have 2 choices. The first choice is when you see a table, we're going to go to spreadsheet. And then it's going to be 4, 1, and I'll tell you what the last number is once we get there. I'm going to put all this in. Instead of time, I'm going to use x's, and these are going to be my y's. So I'm on spreadsheet. I'm going to label this x. I'm going to label this y. Ooh, see how it already populated? It's because it pulled it from my last one. Let me clear it. I'm actually going to get a new document. X, Y, and then I'm just going to put them in. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay, I've put all my stuff in. Now comes the part where you have to look at your answer choices and the key vocabulary in the problem. Height at different times. We want to model the situation. Okay? Well, all of my answers have a squared term, a t squared. So I'm going to go to menu 4.1, and a squared term means quadratic. So it's going to be 6. X, then Y, and just leave everything else the same. Okay? Boom, pops that out for me. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to write down my A, B, and C's. So this was 6, and it tells me, right here, it's telling me the format. AX squared plus BX plus C. It's telling me my A, B, and C. So I know that it's going to be negative 4.89 t squared plus 294.9 t plus 0.57. Now you'll notice that that's not exactly matching any of these. It's closest to these two. And you gotta look, that's basically 4.9, so those both work. Let me zoom in a little bit. That's basically 295, and that's 0.05. It's very close to 0.06, so this is our choice. But what happens if you can't remember all of those steps on the test? There's definitely an easier way. So I'm going to write a big fat or right here, and we're going to show the other way. We're just going to graph using 3.1, and we're going to change t to x. Okay? And then once we get that done, I'll show you how to figure it out. So I'm going to graph the correct answer. I know what the correct answer is right now, but I'm going to graph it and show you how to tell. So I'm going to go to my graph. I'm going to clear everything. I don't want to deal with this mess. And then I'm just going to put it in menu 3.1. Put in my equation. Remember to use x's and not t's. If you use t's, it'll try to make you make a slider. You don't want to have a slider, so it should look like this. Right there. Press enter. And now we want a table. I want a table so I can check and see if it matches this table. So how we get a table is just go to menu. Hey, look, it says table. I think I'm going to go there. We were going to do the split screen, so 7.1. Now you got to pay attention to your values here. We're going to go where x is 5, and we're hoping it's very, very close to this number. It's okay if there's a decimal or something, but as long as it's very close to that, we're happy. And I always check 3 points. That's the same thing, except for we have 0.1 after the end. I'm happy with that. We need to go to 10. That's basically the same. We got 0.6. And that's 0.1. Very, very close. I always check 3 points. If I have 3 points that are very, very close, I'm calling it. So make sure you have all of this written down. We can use the spreadsheet and it will give me the answer. Or if you're stuck on that one and it's just not making sense to you, that's fine. Just go to the graph, put in each answer choice and see if it matches. If it doesn't match, cross it out. Okay. This one. Anytime it gives you a quadratic and then it has 2 parentheses like this, you should automatically know the key word. It is factor. Anytime it's factor, it's 3, 3, 2. We're going to pop that in the calculator. We're going to get out some numbers just like on our warm-up. Menu 332. Throw that in there. X squared minus 17, x minus 60, comma, x. I'm getting negative 3 and a positive 20. x plus 3, x minus 20. We got to remember to flip the signs. You got to flip those signs. All right, so just even if you get to this point, you should be able to knock out 2 of the dumb answers. 2 of the answers you just have to be asleep at the wheel to pick. We know that it doesn't have 5s and 12s. It's got 3 and 20. So these are the 2. It's got to be one of those 2. Now, this one is if you flip both signs, and this one, they only flipped one of the signs, so we already know that's wrong. We either flip them both or we don't flip it at all. But we're flipping, you need to flip both of them, always. Okay, we're going to roll here. Same idea. Menu 3, 3, 2. Yes, you do have to write it. Going to get out our numbers. Going to put in our equation. Comma x. Negative 4 over 3. And 5 over 7. Okay. Now that I have this, I can already knock some things out. 4 and 3 have to be together, so I don't have anything that has a 4 and a 7 together. 5 and 7 have to be together, so these 2 are just the dummy answers. Got to be not paying attention to pick those. Again, we're going to set up our parentheses. It's x's. We flip the signs again, so plus 4 over 3 minus 5 over 17. And then the denominator, remember we bring it up in front. Now really, I bring this 21 down 2, and it's divided by 3 over the 7. I don't know how I got 17. That's a comma. And so that just cancels out. But I would have 3x plus 4 and 7x minus 5. Okay, pay attention to the signs. Notice they have the 3x and the 4, but if you didn't flip your sign, you'd be tricked. That is a decoy answer. Pick the correct one. The one where the signs match and all the numbers are in the right order. Okay, now this one, look at what the directions are telling you to do. Anytime it says equivalent expression, you can put this in the graph, and you're just going to match the graph. It's a very easy technique. So what I'm going to do right now is show you how to do it. Notice that there's no y's in here. If it doesn't have a y equals, you just use menu 3, 1. So I'm going to go to my graph. I'm going to clear everything out again. I'm going to get rid of that table. Thank you. Menu 3, 1. I'm going to put in this equation first. 2x squared plus, use your parentheses, 4x subtract 6x squared plus 9. This is a subtraction sign. 6x plus 3. And then I just press enter. Ta-da! That's the graph I start with. That's this graph. And now I'm going to graph each one of these until it matches. Now a good easy thing to do again is menu 5, 1. Hey look, my y-intercept is 6, so the number at the end should be a 6. So I know it's probably one of these 2. Let me graph this one and I'll show you. Doesn't work. Menu 3, 1. Negative 10x plus 6. Pretty obvious that that line doesn't match this curve. I'm going to graph this one just to show you that it doesn't work. I did 3, 1, but I'm actually going to arrow up and delete this one and put this equation in so that I don't have 5 different graphs going on at the same time. That's just too confusing for me to understand what's going on. Okay, see the graph is too big. Let's try this one. Again, menu 3, 1. I'm just going to arrow up, clear what's there and put in this equation. Negative, that's the white negative. Press enter. Notice how it matches exactly. It's right on top of each other. It almost looks purple. This is your correct graph. And that's it. What you're gonna do now is you're gonna actually glue this into your journal. You're just gonna fold it. I'm gonna zoom out. You're just gonna fold it in half. I'm on page 15. I haven't glued everything in I'm supposed to. That is my bad. And it is factoring and quadratic notes. Today is the 2nd. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this in on page 15. And I'm going to glue it in like this, so that if I leave it open and I close my book, it automatically closes for me. And it should be pretty easy. And we're done. Thanks, guys.